And it's pretty good because they ripen at different times, and so I have just a joy with that tree with the 3 different types of peaches on the one tree. Here is a tree with 12 different kinds of fruit, each bearing a month of the year. And so the leaves, it said, were for the healing or the health of the nations. Now, it is interesting that going back to the book of Genesis, we read that out of the ground the Lord made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. And the tree of life also was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All types of fruit trees, but a couple, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now, it's interesting to me that having the choice to eat of all the trees you may freely eat, God said, except that one in the middle of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat of that tree, for in the day that you eat of it, you'll surely die. With that kind of a choice, what tree did Adam decide to eat of? Foolish. You would think that his first choice would be the tree of life, but it wasn't. He ate of that tree that had fruit on it, that had a deadly bacteria or something in it that caused the death processes to take place. The tree of life, after he had eaten of that tree of the knowledge of good and evil, sinned against God, and death began. Evidently, the tree of life had an antidote, maybe in the leaves, because here the tree, it says the leaves are for the healing or the health of the nations. And so God put a cherubim to guard the garden, to keep Adam from returning into the garden and eating of the tree of life and living forever in a sinful state. And so God was protecting man against his own folly. In Genesis 3:22, the Lord said, "Behold, man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever," the cherubim was set to protect man from himself. The tree of life, the healing in the leaves of the tree of life, some kind of antidote probably to the bacteria that caused death. Isaiah said he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. The healing. In Ezekiel 47, he also saw this river in heaven that John is describing. And he said, "And by the river, and on the bank thereof, and on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for food, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for food, and the leaf thereof of medicine." So Ezekiel sees this same scene that John is describing here in Revelation 22. Jesus said in Revelation 2:7, "He that has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God." At some time, God transplanted that tree and put it in heaven, and we will have the privilege and the right one day to eat of that tree. I wonder what the fruit tastes like. Papaya, maybe? And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. Sin brought a curse upon the world. When God came into the garden to commune with Adam and said, Adam, where are you? And he said, we hid ourselves because we were naked. And God said, who told you you were naked? And they confessed their sin of eating of that tree. Then God said, cursed be the ground. And the curse, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth. And the curses that came as the result of sin. But thank God, the day is coming when that curse will be removed. No more curse. But the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. Jesus said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Isaiah 33:17 said, your eyes shall see the King in his beauty, and they shall behold the land that is very far off, that is heaven itself. John 17, Jesus prayed, and this is truly the Lord's Prayer. We usually think of our Father which art in heaven as the Lord's Prayer. That was a model prayer that he gave for us. His prayer is found in John 17. And there he said, Father, I will that they also whom you have given me might be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory which you had given to me, for you loved me before the foundation of the world. And so we shall see his face, his name in our foreheads. 1 Corinthians 13, for now we see through the glass darkly, but then face to face. Now we know in part, we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Hebrews 12:14, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see God. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, John said. It doesn't yet appear what we're going to be, but we know when he appears, we're going to be like him, for we shall see him as he is. We shall see him. And every man that has this hope in him purifies himself even as he is pure. Revelation 14:1. I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. So God's sort of going to put a brand on his people, the name of the Lord on our foreheads. I think that the Antichrist is going to, his mark on the foreheads and on the right hand is sort of a slam against what God does in sealing his children on their foreheads. Verse 5, and there shall be no night there, no need for candles, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. No night. You know, we read, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go to prepare a place, I will come again and receive you unto myself. And it's interesting, isn't it, how that when he said, in my Father's house are many mansions, what do you picture in your mind?